Hey guys, welcome to a 30-mile-per-hour challenge in GRNPA. So normally I would call this a range test, but I mean, to be fair, this isn't what you normally would do in a range test. I mean, it's going to be so long, I want to break it up into several different parts. And there's going to be some hills going up and down, although we go over the same hills, and it all levels out, so to speak. But to say this is a 30-mile-per-hour range test would not be exactly fair, I don't think. So we'll call it a challenge. Anyway, the point is to see how many miles we can get going from 100% to 0%. So right now we're charging up. We're at 99%. So the car's saying within 5 minutes it'll get there. And we're adding 5 kilowatts per hour. Interesting. So anyway, just give it a little bit more and we'll get going. Okay, here we are just after 8:35. Activate the garage door, close it, and let's get going. Alright, so here's a quick trick that I found on the Tesla owners forums. So one of the big concerns any electric car vehicle person might have is how much does my battery actually have? Okay, so right now we're sitting in the Model 3 Performance. It's from 2020. So you charge it to 100%. In my case, 100% is 269 miles. Is that right? Yeah, 269. Brand new, the car is rated for 299. So you take your 269, divide it by 299, and that gives you a percent. So it turns out this car right now is sitting at 90% battery life. So the warranty comes into effect when you go under 70%. So it's nowhere near the warranty level right now. So actually it has pretty good life, pretty good health. So the estimates I've heard are you'll lose, your biggest loss will be in the first year. And then after that, you'll be fine. Okay, anyway, that's the quick and easy way. That's why you've seen me shift back and forth between percentage and miles. Now, I normally run with percentage. That's what really matters. But anyway, there you go. Okay, for those of you who did not watch the Model Y 30-mile-per-hour range test, this is basically the same route. So come out on the south side of American onto Highland Lake Boulevard. Highland Lake Boulevard, as you go west, will run into Boggy Ford Road. Oops, got a little faster. Anyway, so then from Boggy Ford Road, you go down to Allegiance. Allegiance will cut across to Highland Lake Boulevard again. This course will have 3 stop signs. So for each one of those, one that obviously will stop. And for those of you who remember, yeah, there's no construction crew out here today. That's the good news. And there's the scar. Anyway, whatever. Peace and Army. So I will not use FSD for this drive because it won't work, because you have to be navigating somewhere. And I think I'll end up not using TAC because TAC reacts to the speed signs now because FSD, I think. So as soon as it sees a 40, it'll speed up to 40. And as soon as it thinks it's in a place where there is no speed zone, it'll go back down to 25. Anyway. So. Oh, and so I'm starting off at 8:35, 8:40. So part of the point is this is Boggy Ford. So for almost everybody who lives in this area, Boggy Ford is the main road out because it's 40 miles an hour. Okay, sorry about that. So there was a cop sitting there waiting on the corner, waiting for somebody to come up speeding. You know, when you're on this road, you're getting a little impatient to get somewhere. So, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, I don't know if you saw it. No, you didn't see the 40-mile-per-hour sign go by. But just shortly after American is when the speed limit goes up to 40. Yeah, this is going to be tough, isn't it? Anyway, it's a challenge, not a test. And part of the challenge is going the appropriate speed. So for those of you who aren't, I mean, it seems like almost every car has this. I don't know. I know in this particular car, and I know in my Model Y. So when it's showing 31, you're actually going 30 miles per hour, which is not fun. I mean, I would like 30 miles per hour to mean 30 miles per hour, but whatever. Peace and harmony. It's all good. I guess the good news is if you're somebody who says, well, no, the speedometer says 30, I'm going to do that 30. Well, you're not going to get a ticket for going too fast. At least in theory, you won't. I guess there might be too fast for conditions, something like that. But, I mean, usually the cops use that for somebody who's driving recklessly. If they really want to go after somebody, well, he's driving too fast for conditions. Well, what were the conditions? Well, it was raining. Okay. What's the problem? Whatever. Peace and harmony, it's okay. Cops do cop things. Okay, so we're rolling up on Allegiance now. I can tell you right now, this is going to be a challenge because I keep keeping up to 33, but I'm also filming at the moment. maybe if I was more focused. So this section right here, and maybe you can see it on my screen, is 25. Why is it 25? Because there's no speed zone sign here, or speed limit sign. That's why it's 25. But I can tell you, nobody around here is going to treat that like 25. And even here on Highland Lake, right up until we hit this sign, and it just went 30. Wow, okay. All right, so in the Model Y, this road proved very challenging for autopilot. Now, maybe after I finish my test, maybe I'll give it another shot. We'll see. I mean, using FSD. I mean, FSD supposedly could handle this, although there's a feature of FSD called City Streets that's coming, as opposed to here. Whatever. I mean, I've seen people not do it myself. I use it on city streets around the Austin area. No problem whatsoever. Oh, look, they got a speed trap thingamajig out here. And here I'm 30 miles per hour and it says I'm doing 29. Okay, that's just great. So those, they may be off on purpose too, who knows? I mean, who knows what the right answer is? Here I'm going 30 miles per hour and this car's right behind, although not tailgating. Anyway, where I was going was this road with its curves in 2022, fall of 2022, proved to be too much for autopilot. And it's only supposed to be 30 miles an hour, but I mean, that shows how, I'll do a test later, but it goes to show how far we've come since those days. What in the world's that guy doing? It's my door in a shed. Okay. So I guess somebody's been out to the city complaining that they're not doing enforcement. I mean, I know they have the little trailer thing that they pull to various places. Boggy Ford is a popular place to do that thing. Haley. Oh, so the house I just passed, one of the girls, when I was driving school bus, I mean, she wasn't really bad, she was just kind of had an attitude. And so I got to know her. Right? If I know your name as a school bus driver or as a manager, if I know your name well, that's not a good sign. Right? Because I'm using your name too much. Now, as your if I'm your manager, you do want me to know your name, because it can also show that you're doing a great job. Anyway, peace and harmony, it's all good. What's going on with this house today? Okay, I don't think anything's happened. So they put up the garage sidewalls, but they still have ways to go. All right, so this completes this loop. So let me focus on driving, and we'll check in later. Okay, so I didn't have the camera rolling at the time, but so there was a Don standing out in the middle of the street, and it was just standing there in my lane. So it took a while, but the car eventually did recognize it. So and it showed. Did it show as a deer, or did it show as a kid? I don't remember. But anyway, it showed up. I'm sure the car would have taken action if I hadn't already. Okay, so here we're cruising along. Without FSD, the car would not show the steering wheel. And now it is. So maybe with FSD, it's doing a good job of painting the lines of the road. I don't know. It's totally different than the Model Y. Okay, here we come. Coming up to a stop sign. Message comes up. Okay, in order to go, you have to press the accelerator to get going again. Nice. And that's because, as far as I know, because we have FSD on the car. Awesome. I guess I should throw in that I'm just running TAC. All right, 10% used. Distance 27 miles, 59 minutes. 236 watt hours per mile so far. Wow. So we used 6 kilowatts. All right, so here we are, 80%. Distance so far is 60 miles, 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 225 watt hours per mile. So what I'm noticing is gradually, as the loops grind on, the average is getting more efficient. So that part's good. I'm still guessing it's going to be right around 300 miles, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so just a quick little note. There was a deer, not the fawn, this is a deer, that was kind of crossing the road, but taking its time, going slow, whatever. When the car got close enough, it looked kind of like a dog. I don't know if it actually was meant to look like a deer, but whatever. It is what it is. And I just came across a pedestrian. Oh, there's another one. Come on. So and also there's a guy walking on the side of the road. So the car slowed when it saw him. He was walking with his back towards me. So he's going the same direction I'm going. Not what you're supposed to do, by the way, if you're a pedestrian. But anyway, he showed up as a person walking. So, and the car slowed down. I said that right. So I'm only running in TAC mode, but TAC mode was able to give that kind of thing. Okay, I don't know why it does that. It seems like at least half the time this stop sign, the car has to beep about it. I don't know. I just noticed that the line was shifting back and forth. So maybe it didn't know where the stop line was supposed to be. Okay, here we are at 75%. Distance so far is 72 miles. Hours is 2 hours and 33 minutes. And I'm down to 224 watt hours per mile. It's kind of hanging stubborn right around that point, but it is down to that point. Anyway, there we go. What is it, 11:10? Okay, so last time we came through here, there was a car right in front of me. When this car, I'm guessing, when this car saw the other car went, this car went with him. It didn't stop. Right? You're supposed to like wait for the car to go through the intersection, pull up to the line, and then check. This car didn't do that. That was very interesting. I just came across a golf cart. The golf cart showed up as a car. That's kind of curious. Okay, so this makes perfect sense, actually. So basically, if you look at the loop that I'm driving, there's a low spot in that loop, and there's a high spot. What are you doing? You're not sure? Okay. Sorry, there was a car at the stop sign, so I was kind of waiting to see what he's going to do. Okay, so he went straight. Anyway, so the high spot is right around Legions. The low spot is in the low spot just before you come up to American on Highland Lake. I think that's what it is, because yes, that's what it is. Anyway, so right now it says the average usage, the average energy is 210. Okay. If I pull up, come here, pull up trips. So right now my average energy on the current trip is 220. So that basically means that I used a lot of it. I've used more energy at the beginning of this trip, and now that average energy is around 210, the overall average is coming down. So I'm down to 220, and it was up around 250. So by the time I finish, hopefully I'll be at 200. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Okay, so here we are on 70%. The energy graph shows we're averaging 206. I don't think it's 206, is it? Anyway, it's going up and down around 206, 210. Bring up trips. Come on. Trips. So we've covered 89 miles. It's been 3 hours, 9 minutes. The average energy, watt hours per mile, has come down to 221. So what I'm noticing as I continue to drive along, it keeps improving. So I mean, with time, eventually I'll get under 200, I think. But anyway, that's a scary thought, because then I'll drive even more miles, which means even more time. But you know, that's what we're after, is to see what we can actually accomplish. Anyway, it's going okay. It's just it's been 3 hours. Okay, time for a break. It's 12:21 p.m. I'm at 65%. For the current trip, it's been 105 miles, 3 hours, 45 minutes, and we're down to 217 watt hours per mile. And we used 23 kilowatts so far. Well, I really need to take a break, so I did take a break. Why does it show that the current trip is 3 hours, 47 minutes. I guess once I put in gear, it'll clear out. Okay, whatever. So anyway, I took a break. And I was kind of thinking about the heat of the day being a factor, but not really. I just, after I ate lunch, I lay down and I fell asleep. So I guess I was really tired. Yeah, well, whatever. Peace and harmony, it's okay. Like I said, this is a challenge. It's not a real test. There's no way to make this a real test. It's just too much stuff. So anyway, it's just before 6 p.m. Let's get started. What I'm hoping to do is do another 3 hours of driving and then finish up tomorrow morning. But we'll see how it goes. All right, so here we are at 50%. 37 miles covered, hour 18 so far in this leg. The average energy is 228 watt hours per mile. The overall trip is 220 watt hours per mile for 142 miles. Anyway, 50%, it's 714. Okay, so here we are at 60%. 9 miles so far in this leg of the trip, but overall 114 miles, 25 kilowatts. I'm averaging 220 watt hours per mile. What I've noticed is when I first start, it apparently spikes up the energy a little bit, and then rapidly comes back down. So that's part of the reason why it takes a while for it all to average out. But anyway, yes, this car is being very efficient at this speed. Okay, I don't know what it is about this curve. I mean, yes, there is a truck there right now, but around this curve it slows down to 23 miles per hour. Nothing unusual. I mean, it's just it's not even that strong a curve, but for some reason the car really has to slow down for it. All right, guys, so we just hit 40%. Actually, it just went to 41. Oh, probably regens why I went to 41. Okay, anyway, I just hit 40%. Distance on this leg is 67 miles, 2 hours, 22 minutes. Average energy for this leg is 221. So overall is 172 miles, 38 kilowatts so far, and 219 average energy. That's 819. So I think I'm going to call it a night. Wow, that extra little bit is lasting a long time. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I gotta admit, I'm tired, and we'll catch you again tomorrow. We'll be wrapping it up, I'm sure of that, because only 40% left to go. All right, guys, here I'm home again. 8:23 p.m. I'm at 40%. What do I have up here? Give me this trips. So 69 miles on this pass, 227 hours, 219 watt hours per mile. Total distance so far is 174, and I'm estimating that I'll probably get around 330, maybe 330. I may have to go rethink that, but anyway. And 38 kilowatt hours used so far, so only 38. I'm at 40% left. No, sounds about right. Okay, and 218 watt hours per mile. So what I'm noticing, and I think I said it already, but what I'm noticing is it's every time I start a leg, it must be spiking it a little bit, and that's what's killing my average. And the longer you go, the more efficient it becomes. But anyway, whatever. The real point of this is to give you an idea how far you could possibly go, not how far you accurately will go. And there's a slight difference in there. Anyway, mañana. Okay, so notice anything unusual? When I parked it last night, it was at 40%. This morning it's at 44%. That indicates that there's some BMS issues that it probably just hadn't been down this low in a while, and I'm planning to take it to 0. So for BMS maintenance, I heard a suggestion once that every once in a while you should take it down to 0 and charge it back up to 100%. And at the end of this range challenge, we will be down to 0. If I don't know, maybe I won't be able to. Maybe I won't be able to trust that range, but we'll see what happens when we get there. So anyway, we're at 44%. We parked at 40. It's just part of the challenge, and we'll go from there. So the idea here is it's just rolling up on 4 o'clock. We're going to see if we can get a couple hours in before morning rush hour, and then just after morning rush hour, get 2 more hours in. Hopefully that's all that requires, and then we'll be done and see what we got. Onward, upward. Okay, so there you go. Took 1,567 watt-hours per mile to back out of my driveway. That's what's throwing off the energy usage. Okay, so that's interesting. One loop took off 2%. I don't know exactly what that means. Right now, my working theory, and I don't pay enough attention to get it accurate, but my working theory is that it's about 1% for every loop and a half or so. Okay, just for grins, welcome back to 40%. For some reason, around 40%, I've had some issues, but whatever. I also took a break in there. 185 miles, 41 kilowatt hours used, and 220 watt hours per mile. And let's see, I've been driving for 11 minutes on this leg for 26 minutes. 11 miles, 26 minutes, yes. 259 watt hours per mile. How interesting. Anyway, welcome back to 40%. Okay, here I am at 30%. Whoops. Let's see, where are we at? 40 miles an hour, hour 27. 234 watt hours per mile. Wow. So the average for the whole trip is at 221. We've covered 214 miles so far. Anyway, 30%. It's 5:25 a.m. Okay, here we are, 25%. It's 5:52 a.m. For this leg, it's been 54 miles, an hour 54, and we're averaging 233 watt hours per mile. So the total distance covered so far is 227 miles, 50 kilowatt hours, and what is it, 222 watt hours. Time for a break, shall we? See, it's 6 a.m. straight up, 24% left. Trips, 57 miles on that loop, or that leg, for 2 hours, 3 minutes, 228 watt hours per mile. 231 miles covered so far overall, with an overall average of 220 watt hours per mile. I don't think I'm going to see 200, which I saw in the Model Y. But, I mean, I get it. So there you go. Okay, hey guys, let's try to get this. This leg should finish it off. I'm at 22%, so I dropped 2% more or less while I was inside. Let's see, current trip is reporting 0. That's interesting. So what I'm doing different this time is I backed in to park, so I'm pulling straight out. Earlier this morning, there we go, 750 watt hours per mile. I'm on, dear. these deers are particularly stubborn now. I don't know. It's just after 8. Anyway, so 750 watt hours per mile pulling out this time as opposed to 15 something backing out. I don't know if that's all of it, but it's an interesting difference. Anyway, like I said, hopefully this will finish it off and we'll be done. I'm guessing it'll take 2.5, maybe approaching 3 hours. Okay. And at the end of it, we'll have a challenge results. Okay, check-ins 20%. I've only covered 3 miles in this group. Anyway, 818. Overall distance is 233, 52 kilowatt hours used, and 222 watt hours per mile. It's kind of interesting that it was kind of dipping between 20 and 21, and I was at 22 at the house, and I've only gone 3 miles really. So I've gone 3 miles. Yeah, that's although that means I was at 22 low end, I think. Anyway, there you go. All right, so how do I know I'm going 30 miles an hour? My car says 31. I'm going by the speed trap at 30 miles an hour. Okay, so the car popped up an interesting message. It said auto navigation was complete. I'm kind of wondering where the car thought I was going. Just to pop up with that message. I mean, I'm just going around in circles, so I can't really navigate the car. I mean, I can't set a point and say go to that and keep going around and around and around. But anyway, whatever. Peace and harmony. It's all good. So I better throw this in. So I'm at 19%. The car says I can do 57 more miles. I don't think that's possible. Let's see. 10, 20. Oh, 20 times 4 is 40. I guess if you were to say I could do 45 miles, I could buy that. But 45, 58, what's the difference? Look, it went up to 58. It was 57. Anyway, we'll see. My guess, this car has not seen the bottom of its battery in a long, long time. So I may have said this before. I hope I did. I'm sure we're looking at some BMS rebalance issues, and hopefully trying to go to 0% doesn't strand me somewhere. But the whole loop is only just over 4 miles, so I won't be far from home. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. All right, so I used to think there was something about what I was doing at this stop sign. That's not what I'm doing. See, that time, the imaginary red line, it stopped on it. So apparently what's happening is, in some light conditions, the car, there's a seam in the asphalt there. That's apparently where it's deciding the stop line is. And sometimes it just can't see that seam. I'm guessing because the light's hitting it a certain way or something. And so when it can't see that line and then it rolls over it, then it sounds the alarm. Of course, who's deciding where that stop line is? It's the car. And so it's the car that's having a problem with it. It's not me. So, whatever. I mean, I assume that it's the horn. It's not a horn, siren, whatever. It is meant to make sure I'm alert because I just rolled over the stop line. But it's TAC that rolled over the cruise over that line, not me. Anyway, peace and harmony. Just learning all the various ins and outs of having FSD on my car. Well, I don't quite know what to make of it, but I'm at 10%. It's 9:22 a.m. This current leg is 33 miles for 236 watt hours per mile, and hour 12 so far. Total distance is 264, 59 kilowatt hours used, and we're averaging 222 watt hours per mile. Right now the car's projecting that it's going to get 33 miles. Bring that trips back up. 264, and it's projecting 33. Sounds about right, yes. Can I do that? Well, anyway, I find it interesting that I was starting to work on this idea that just under a loop is 1%, and so I hit 11% down in the valley, so to speak, before the intersection with Boggy Ford. Is that where it is? Yeah, that's where it is. And all of a sudden I've wrapped up in the 10%, so that calculation is off. But anyway, whatever. Here we are. Let's keep going. Okay, slowly but surely I'm getting there. I'm now at 7%, so the remainder is now showing as red, as opposed to yellow, which came in 20%. And it popped up the message saying, plan your next stop, next charging stop. So I'm at 7%, 19 miles. So if you know where I am, I'm in Lago Vista, right? For some reason, the navigation will show Bee Cave as the closest charger. Although to get to Bee Cave, I'd have to magically go across Lake Travis, and that won't happen. So actually the closest stop is actually Cedar Park. It just doesn't show it that way. Anyway, peace and harmony is fine. 7%, let's get going, let's get it done. Okay, so here we are, we're at 2%. I should be rolling down to 1% pretty soon. So I've covered 290 miles. Total energy used is 64 kilowatt hours. Doesn't sound right. Does the performance have a smaller battery than the long range? I would have thought they were the same battery. I don't know. Okay, anyway. Average engine for the total trip, 221. Yeah. Too bad you couldn't figure out where to stop. So anyway, sorry, I'm kind of shooken with the 64 kilowatt hours. I didn't think it'd be 64. I thought it'd be 71. But I don't know. Maybe they put fewer batteries in the performance to make it lighter. Okay, anyway, still at 2%. So I'm going to try to show the last few miles here. See how it works out. Actually, I'm at 290. It looks like the battery percentage bar is going off of 3 miles per kilowatt. That'd be my guess. The energy graph showed slightly more mileage than that, but 2 more miles, I think. There we go, 1%. 1% is 4 miles. Okay, I was wrong. So 1% is 4 miles. It's not the same thing as kilowatt hours. Okay. Okay, 4 miles per percent, which kind of matches up to what we're seeing on this test. So let's see, I can make 2 more miles. Yes. So I've switched to the small loop. The small loop is just under 2 miles, I think. So we'll do 1 more of these, and then we'll break it down to Santa Rosa loops, which should be about 1 mile. But it's actually short of 1 mile, but it'd be close enough for government work with what we're doing. Okay, this isn't government work, this is Ray work. Whatever, okay, fine. Yeah, it doesn't like this truck. This truck like, Oh, he's going to move. He's going. Yeah, it is a red Ford. Who knows? He just might decide to do that. Of course, there's no driver in it. Stopping for traffic control. Oh, so you were with me when you heard the beeping. So I think I said it, but if I didn't. So apparently, the stop sign control sometimes has a hard time calculating where the stop line should be. And if it rolls past out the imaginary line without realizing it, and then all of a sudden it reestablishes the line, you've already gone past the line, so it sounds the alarm and like, yes, I'm challenging you to stop. I've already looked to the left, so it's a T. I've already looked left. There's no traffic coming out on the left, and I don't have to worry about anybody turning left in front of me because it's a T. Anyway, whatever. 3 miles. 3 miles to go. Oh. So it'll be last time with this. Well, that time there was a car there. Well, look, he figured out what he wanted to do, and there was a truck coming up. Okay, whatever. Peace and Army, doesn't matter. 3 miles. Do I dare run this loop one more time? You're stretching it. But then again, the point is to go to 0%. And I don't remember, it still shows 0% even if there's 1 mile. Anyway, this car should have buffer in it. I mean, all Teslas have a fairly decent buffer on the bottom end. Oh, wow. Those cars are actually stopping at the stop sign. All they see is Blackie. Okay, Grandpa. Don't go in front of Grandpa. POA is hiring park rangers. Okay. Bring that back down. Okay, I'm at 2 miles. What's that you say? Why chance it? Yes, I fully agree. What's that? That's the conservative Ray? Too bad. Too bad, so sad. Get over it. I'm at 292 miles. I'm still stunned. It says 65 kilowatts. Or 65 kilowatt hours. I may have to go check what the battery pack is on the 2020 Model 3 Performance. It's very possible that they had a smaller pack at that time. Who knows? Tesla knows. And the real challenge with me is, of course, it's not right. It looks like Beck, I guess, is Purnell's Electric is probably sending occasional spikes when I'm charging there today. I hope that's what it is. Otherwise, it's a car problem. Come on, come on. Still has 2 miles to go. Of course it does. You haven't completed the loop yet. Oh, so I did get another message pop up saying, plan your next charger. I guess it's leaving me alone because even BK's, which it thinks it's close, it's probably thinking, yeah, that one's too far away. I mean, I'm down 2 miles. I think BK will show it's 10 miles away. I mean, it's not really. I have to go almost to Cedar Park to then turn right to get down to BK. And believe me, if I'm in Cedar Park, I must go to Cedar Park Charger. So anyway, I've commented on that already. Oh, come on, baby. 1 mile to go. Okay. So I think what I'll do is I'll complete one more of these loops and then come down the road to my house and unplug the Model Y and move the Model 3 into the garage and get it plugged in. And we'll see what happens from there. And who knows, maybe it will show 65 kilowatt hours. Ah! What's going on, sissy? Oh, I was looking for Winslow. Okay, there's Winslow. Did I activate the garage? Not yet. Oh, okay. That's a pretty wide range before. So I don't think my garage works that far away, although the batteries are a little bit old. Okay, 1 mile left. So I'll get back to the top of this loop. It'll go to 0. And I'm at 294 miles. Okay, not quite as much as I thought I would get, but still a lot more than the 269 that I thought it had full. Right? I mean, baby. Come on. 0 miles. Okay, 0 miles, 294 miles, 65 kilowatt hours, and the average energy use is at 221 watt hours per mile. So the total distance covered in the last leg was 64 miles. Ran for 2 hours 20 minutes, and that was 223 watt hours per mile. Okay, and just to show you, 0%, so it's not even showing the red bar. Haha. Well, mostly with 0, who cares? Okay, so did I tell you everything? Oh, it's 10:31. There you go. So that's the end of this challenge. Let's get it plugged in and get it charging again. Well, it looks like I lost track of the video that wraps this up. Okay, 295 miles covered, 65 kilowatt hours used, for an average energy of 221 watt hours per mile. And I have gone back and looked, and yes, in 2020 the battery pack was somewhat smaller, so it's quite possible that it is indeed 65 kilowatt hours usable. So there you go. Okay, I don't know if you can see that well, but okay, I'm up to 48 amps, so 7 hours 15 minutes left to charge. Okay, a couple things I didn't get to wrap up earlier. So the total drive time was 10 hours 49 minutes split over 4 legs. Okay, and so and it's really over a period of 36 hours, so to speak. Anyway, that's that. So when I finished and pulled into the garage at 0%, the car itself reported that it used 65 kilowatt hours. Now, I was kind of surprised how low it was, so I went back and looked it up, and Wiki suggested that the battery is actually a 75 kilowatt hour gross. Now, why is this? Why am I talking about all these various pieces? Okay, here's the third part. I plugged the car in, went from 0 to 100%. It reported 70 kilowatt hours put back into the battery. So the car itself said it used 65, but charging put in 70. It seems kind of strange. Now, there were a couple of spots where the percent of battery kind of jumped. It was only 2 or 3 percentage points, but it kind of moved kind of weird. So I'm not quite sure what to think of this right now, other than, hey, if it has 70 kilowatts, that seems pretty good to me, because my Model Y has reports 71. Maybe the batteries are actually close to the same. I don't know. I just don't know. Anyway, peace and harmony. What this obviously means is there has to be more testing, but it's not going to be no 30 mile per hour range test. But there are other tests, like the 70 mile per hour range test, that has to be done sooner or later, and that's much more. I mean, the drive itself takes like 4 hours, 5 hours, plus another hour and a half driving to the start and back from the start. So we'll see. I'll have to change up the course somewhat, because the Model 3 doesn't have quite the range. I mean, it reports that it will do 299. I think in actuality it will only do 269, and that's with everything perfect. So that indicates I may be more like 200 doable range at 70 miles per hour. But we'll see. Peace and harmony. I mean, the reason for doing the test is to give an idea of what can happen. In the meantime, what did I end up with? I ended up with a 290 something. So, I mean, there's nerdy data that comes out of the test. Yes, okay, fine. But here's the real message for those of you who've lasted this long and are paying attention. If you're having a hard time making the total distance that you're traveling, you significantly add the mileage that you can go if you're going 30 miles per hour as opposed to 70. It's a huge difference. So if you're in a crunch, consider this as one of your options. Now, is it going to be a popular option? No. But running out of energy halfway to where you're going is going to be a worse alternative, I guarantee you. But anyway, peace and harmony, onward, upward charge. Okay, so I found this on Wiki. So it does look like the all-wheel drive performance, which is what I have, does indeed have 299 miles from the beginning. Okay, where did I see it? So down here, so it looks like up through model year 2020, it had a 75 kilowatt hour pack. And after 2020, or I don't know, it's kind of confusing, isn't it? Because it's saying until 2020, and then after 2021, so what happened in 2021? But anyway, whatever, peace and harmony. after model year 2021, it went to an 82 kilowatt hour pack. My Model Y is a 2022. It's 82 kilowatt hours. So I know that it reported to me that it had 71 usable. So maybe it's quite possible that if that Model 3 has 75 total kilowatt hours in the battery pack, saying that 64 is available may be reasonable. Okay, whatever, it's charging up now. We'll see what we get. I'm just trying to pull that part together. We'll go from there. Just in case you need to know, performance brakes, 20-inch wheels, carbon fiber spoiler, which is just a little tip they put on the edge, aluminum pedals, yes, I have those. Total top speed is 162 miles per hour. Okay. And track mode software. Yes, track mode. Anyway.